Having big hands can be a nice advantage in basketball. It gives you the ability to easily palm the ball, which, though not critical, can be very helpful. This can affect passing, shooting, and ball handling. Basketball is all about ball control. You can imagine how much easier it would be to play if the ball felt like a softball in your hands. You would have so much control. Some NBA greats like Michael Jordan and Julius Erving benefited from having huge hands. Obviously, it wasn't the only reason these players were great, but it was a huge advantage and probably why they were able to finish so well at the rim. Kobe Bryant recognized this advantage. When asked what he wished he could change about his game, his answer was his hands. He revealed he wished he had massive hands like Michael Jordan. When Phil Jackson was asked who would win in a game of one-on-one between Jordan and Bryant, the Zen Master went with MJ. His main reason for picking MJ was simply because of the hand size advantage he enjoys over Kobe. This video will take a look at some NBA players both past and present with the most impressive hand sizes. Both the hand length and span of the players will be considered. Reasonable estimates will also be made on the sizes of players that have not been officially measured. It's usually obvious who has the biggest hands though. They're the ones who can wave the ball around like a grapefruit and don't need their offhand to secure the ball. Welcome to Endless Sports. Subscribe now so you never miss out on any of the greatest facts about sports and the latest trending sports news. Let's get into the video. Number 5. Connie Hawkins. Hand size, length, and span 10.5 inches, 11 inches. Connie Hawkins could palm the ball with ease and finish in any way he liked at the rim. This was due to his uncommonly large hands, which were 10.5 inches in length and 11 inches in span. LeBron James stands at the same height as the Hawk, but he can only boast of a hand length and span of 9 inches and 9 1/4 inches respectively. Connie had one of the longest, if not the longest hand lengths in the history of the NBA. Remarkably, he had the same hand length as 7'7" Taco Fall. Number 4. Gregory Smith. Hand size, length, and span 9.8 inches, 12 inches. Greg Smith has one of the largest hands ever measured at the draft combine. His hand length measures 9.8 inches and his hand span is 12 inches. Smith has the same span as 8'3" Sultan Kosin. This is truly astonishing if you consider the fact that he stands at 6'10". Smith beats his 2011 draft mate Nikola Vucevic in both hand span and length despite Nikola standing at almost 7 foot. Number 3. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Hand size, length, and span 9.85 inches, 12 inches. This insanely talented 6'11" forward who plays like a point guard is one of the few players in the NBA who can boast of a 12-inch hand span. This is the same hand span as the tallest living person in the world, Sultan Kosin, who stands at 8'3". Giannis's outrageous hand length of 9.85 inches is also something worthy of mention, which is longer than those of 7'1" Rudy Gobert. The Greek freak has a whopping 26.3% wider hand span than Bol Bol, who is 7'2". Astonishingly, Taco Fall's hands are 14.3% narrower than Antetokounmpo's despite being 8 inches taller. Number 2. Shaquille O'Neal. Hand size, length, and span estimated to be 10.25 and 12 inches. Some believe Shaq's enormous hands were the reason he couldn't shoot a free throw. It's like an average-sized guy trying to shoot a softball. Though big hands never prevented Kawhi, Dr. J, or MJ from nailing free throws. It's difficult to find accurate measurements on the hand size of Shaquille O'Neal. Fortunately, Shaq compared his hand with Kawhi Leonard on live TV, whose hand size we know with certainty. His hands were quite bigger than Kawhi's. Shaq's hand length seems to be at most half an inch longer than Kawhi's. Their hand spans also look like they don't differ by more than 3/4 of an inch. It's therefore safe to say Shaq's hand length is in the range of 10 to 10.25 inches, and his hand span in the range of 11.75 to 12 inches. Wilt Chamberlain stood at almost the same height as Shaq, but possessed a hand length and span of 9.5 inches and 11.5 inches respectively. Kawhi's hand size is also pretty impressive if you consider the fact that he stands 6 inches shorter than Shaq. Number 1. Boban Marjanovic. Hand size, length, span estimated to be 10.75, 12 inches. Boban Marjanovic may hold the unofficial title for the largest hands ever in the NBA, and probably in the world. Unfortunately, he hasn't had his hands officially measured. Some sites put his hand span at 14 inches, which is highly unlikely. A pic of Boban shaking hands with Okafor shows his hands are not significantly bigger than Okafor's. It will be interesting to see him compare hands with some of the big boys like Shaq and Giannis to gauge his true hand size. Most of the people he has compared hands with have had average to below average sizes. In 2016, he compared hands with his former teammate Ray McCallum, whose hand size has been officially measured. We can thus use this to estimate his size. At 6'3", McCallum has pretty small hands for his height. His hand length is only 8 inches and his span is 8.75 inches. From the pic below, it is pretty obvious that Boban's hand length is at most 3 inches longer than McCallum's. Their hand spans also don't differ by more than 3.5 inches. Boban's hand length is therefore likely to be in the range of 10.75 to 11 inches. His hand span is likely in the range of 12 to 12.25 inches. This is not far off from the measurements of the tallest living person, who is a foot taller than him. And that's all for today's video. We hope you enjoyed this upload. If you did, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for even more great content just like this. Thanks for watching. See you soon in another one.